Alrighty. I've been trying to put this video off for a long time, but today's the day, so we're gonna roll up our sleeves and get right to it. This is not a political video, but that doesn't stop the internet, does it? Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a more fun video. Having now done a lot of projects doing a Joe Biden impression, time to just share that with you. Again, I'm very hesitant to share or even talk about political impressions or political jokes. I don't care either way. I've been doing impressions of pretty much all the celebrities I can find audio samples of for years. I started out, some of the earliest videos on this channel were doing impressions and political figures were in there. George W. Bush, Barack Obama, all that. So, as far as I'm concerned, if you're in the public eye, you're fair game. If I can do an impression of you, I'm going to do an impression of you. That's kind of how it is. But yeah, we're going to talk about a Joe Biden impression. And there's going to be a timestamp for people to just go and listen to it. That is going to be in the description. There you go. Okay, so there are some basics that I do want to cover first, and that is, there's a lot of people that that watch a lot of my other impression videos, how to do an impression. By the way, every time I do a how to do impression video, it's not the definitive way of doing an impression. Impressions are kind of open to interpretation. As long as you're doing the voice and people know who it is, whether it's over the top or whether it's uncanny and subtle, that's an impression. There are two kinds of impressions. There is a comical impression, and there is the uncanny, more voice matching kind of thing. Comical impression is what most of my impressions are. They're over the top. They're meant to be silly. They're meant for comedy. A lot of the times I'd use them in comedy, and when I do voiceover, they're often parodies. That's what it is. And then there's things that are like voice matching, and that's the kind of thing that you'd see, if an actor needs to be dubbed over, but they're currently working on a project and they can't be, they will hire voice actors to come in and try to match them, to try to voice match them, to sound exactly like them, with no comedy, with no added flair, with no extra personality, just to voice match them exactly syllable for syllable, word for word. So mine is going to be comical when it comes to Joe Biden. And I know there's going to be a lot of people, there always is, in the comment section going, oh, this person also does an impression of blah, 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 and they do it better. I don't care. Totally fine. Whatever. I don't care. Has nothing to do with them. We're not competing, for the love of God. But this is how I do my Joe Biden. A couple things that you need to consider. First off, he is from Scranton, New Jersey. So there is a bit of a southern-ish accent. When I started doing it, one of the keys to getting into a Joe Biden impression was kind of starting from the launch pad of a George W. Bush. There's a subtle, at least the way I do it, there's a subtleness in there. And that's just kind of because it's an older gentleman with a slight southern accent. Obviously not as overt as George W. Bush. George W. Bush was like this. He's got a Texas accent. He's not 100% Texas. That was George W. Bush. But Joe Biden, Scranton, New Jersey, it's a different kind of southern accent.
Wrong.
So that's one kind of gateway in. If you've already been doing a George W. Bush impression, if you've already been doing impressions for a while, that might be one way to kind of work your way in. The other thing to consider is that he is incredibly old. He is really old. So another way that you could kind of start and work your way in is just starting from an old guy voice. And that's another thing that I kind of did, was kind of mix a little bit of George W. Bush with kind of just an old guy voice. And then after that, then it was kind of fixating and focusing on different keywords or phrases that he had. And so with an old person voice, it's very relaxed. It's very much in the back. And that's just mostly because the body is tired. So, and then another thing is the tongue kind of goes back. It's hard to do with like the mouth closed. It's kind of like pulled, scrunched to the back, and it's kind of very, very relaxed. And when you talk, your teeth never really touch, and you kind of always have your jaw loose and very limp. That way it has this kind of slightly muffled, but, mostly just like breathy and tired sound. And then the next part is it's going to be kind of nasally. There's a slight nasaliness to, kind of like how it is with George W. Bush, there's a slight nasaliness with Joe Biden. So taking those into consideration, now we're going to focus on a keyword or a key phrase. And one of the things that I think is, there are a few words that are kind of his big thing. Every single impression has like a few words or a few phrases that are kind of the key to getting into that. And for George W. Bush, it was America, Al-Qaeda, even just the word was kind of, a big Bernie, not Bernie, the little Jewish guy. No, Bernie, my dog, Bernie. But for Joseph Biden, it was Scranton, New Jersey, hairy legs. Wait for it. And come on, man. I think those are the three that are probably the most recognizable, at least to me, when I was looking up footage to learn how to do a Joe Biden. From Scranton, New Jersey. Come on, man. I got hairy legs, and I love kids jumping on my lap. Yeah. I mean, I had that chain wrapped around, and I'm going to talk to Corn Pop. And I was like, yeah, look, you don't quit running around the pool. I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. Come on. You just left me alone. That's how I do a Joe Biden. Again, it's a lot in the back. And this is one impression where, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to say, there's a lot of stuttering. There is a lot of kind of flubbing and kind of not being extremely articulate with your words. For things like, obviously it's, come on, man. Come on, man. So you're going to drop off a lot of the ending syllables, and you're not going to be hitting a lot of the fine detail of the words. So come on. That'd be how he would say, come on. Come on. And then man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You can put a little bit of an N in there, but it needs to be very, very subtle. Come on, man. So that'd be, probably one of his big phrases. And again, the mouth is very relaxed. It doesn't really it's basically drooping down, very, very chill, a lot of breathiness, back of the throat, bass. Not like a lot of bass, like Barry White bass, but just like a lot of bass just coming from the chest because he is older. And when you're, so the reason I bring that up is when you're an old person or someone who's more elderly or someone who's past 45, as you get older, your vocal cords start to relax. A lot of your muscles start to relax. A lot of your body just starts to, kind of loosen up. And that's the same thing with your vocal cords. It's the same thing with your lungs. So when vocal cords are relaxed, they're more open. If the passageway, your vocal cords are open, you're going to get more of a lower pitch, a lower register. So because he is more elderly, like pretty much all of our presidents have been, more elderly, you're going to get a lot more breathy bassiness. So that's just going to be there. That has nothing to do with really him necessarily. It's just a lot of dudes that are past middle age. It's a very common thing. But for him, it's very, very noticeable. So, and then we have Scranton, New Jersey. There's this kind of, this is where the Southern kind of comes in. The way he says Scranton, Scranton, New Jersey, Scranton, New Jersey. He kind of puts most of the emphasis on the "ah" part, and the rest of it just kind of blah, 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 blah. Scranton, New Jersey, Scranton, New Jersey. I'm not really sure how to really break that down as far as why he does that. I've never been to Scranton, New Jersey. I don't know anyone who's from Scranton, New Jersey. I don't know anyone from New Jersey, which, by the way, isn't Southern. I know I've been saying Southern, and I know New Jersey isn't Southern, but that's just what it sounds like to me. I know that's probably confusing everybody. The comment section is probably filled with like, Scranton, New Jersey is not Southern. He's from Scranton, New Jersey, even though that's not Southern, but it sounds Southern, if that makes sense. It's very hard to break this down. But that's how I see it, and that's what has helped me. I don't know anyone from New Jersey who sounds like that. So I don't know if it's probably not a New Jersey thing. It's probably not a New Jersey thing. It's probably that's just him. No one else talks like that. But take all those things into consideration and have been saying them. So let's see. So he's very, very relaxed, not very articulate. Not articulate as in the fact that there's not like the way I am, where you can hear pretty much every single syllable. Everything is spaced out. All the T's, the S's, the I's, every vowel, every consonant comes in clear. Just a very general, clear, American accent. General American accent. His isn't articulate in the fact that it all kind of muddies and kind of gets very, very breathy. That's one of the main keys to doing a Joe Biden. And then the stuttering, that's just something he does from observation. So that's just going to be there. And that was there with George J. Bush. That was there with George J. Bush. Now, I will say this. Barack Obama didn't have a lot of stuttering kind of moments. However, he had a lot of pauses. And from learning from being someone who did have a stutter, and from someone who did kind of have a speech problem early on, one of the keys is to prevent from doing a lot of ums or a lot of stuttering is you kind of pause and you kind of give yourself space. Barack Obama did that to prevent himself from sounding like George W. Bush. Come on. That's just going into Biden. Come on, man. The thing. Come on. We hold these truths to be self-evident. Come on, the thing. There you go. My voice is actually starting to just get really hoarse from doing all this. I don't know why. But, yeah. That's it for the most part. It's really only a handful of things that really kind of get you in there. Like I said before, like any other impression, especially when it comes to a political figure, you have to go and watch a lot of footage of them. most of the time, the best thing is going to be interviews and speeches, if it's going to be a political figure. And then you have to watch the whole thing from beginning to end and try to follow along with them. So, your homework to try to get better at doing an impression is to start with these things, get that kind of, okay, yeah, get that going. Basically, do a lot of that, just mouth open, very breathy from the back of the throat, tongues all wrinkled up, and just go, hey, B, C, D. You're going to look and sound like an idiot, but keep doing that, and then go and watch one of his speeches and try to match along. Now, obviously, this is not a perfect impression. It's not a sound-alike. It's not voice matching, so it's not going to be perfect. But I do that impression, and I don't have to say who it is, and I don't even have to say any of his key phrases, and people know who it's supposed to be. That's when you know you're doing a good impression. When you're not actually saying something that they've actually said, and you're not saying who it is, and you're not giving them any context, but they know who it's supposed to be. That's how you know. Whether it's a comical impression or whether it's a, voice matching, that's how you know. So keep doing those. Watch all the speeches. Watch as much footage as you can. Do those exercises with the, okay. Keep those thoughts in mind, or those ideas in mind. And, there you go. Again, totally rambling, but what do you expect? That's what this channel is. This is me in a box rambling. So, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new. Bell for notifications. And leave down in the comment section below. Like to see me cover any other topics. And, catch you later. Peace.